we're trying something different today. A little louder even. Not a lot of gain. Good. I mean, competent amount. Leave it to me to screw up the timing on that right away, but anyway. So the point here today is a couple. For one, normally I'm just kind of your average everyday sit-down player, but for one reason or another, especially one coming up on this coming Saturday, I kind of need to start standing up again. And hey, Alex, how are you? Hopefully everything's coming through loud and clear. There's a few new things on the horizon. One, wireless, so I can stand. Two, hey, I'm standing. It's kind of weird and different. But of course, then there's this, which was Plosive City last week. Hopefully I've got that figured out. Work on that vibrato. Hey, doing good. All right, great. Just watching a bit before I head to bed. Believe me, bed is a good time. I will be heading off that way myself right after the stream. So in that we have kinship, weirdly enough. So, oh, good. Good to hear. Let's see here. Speaking of sounding perfect, Alnico 4. I was messing with this last week. And I realized I didn't play this nearly enough. Been in contact with Sandman, and that's the guy who was the proprietor of the eBay. That's the eBay store that sells these guitar parts owned pickups. And he said, hey, you know, not to encourage a rush or anything like that, but you want to do something with those AC4s? I'm like, yes, I do. So for two good reasons, I wanted to play this guitar today. But I got a question the other day in my private life about, you know what? It's been interesting. I'll tell you, I've had better weeks, but this last weekend wasn't so bad. I picked up some really nice shop tools for a song. So when I get to, should have stuck with major on that. So when I start building again, you know, guitars and stuff like that, I will be in a much better position to go ahead and, you know, not only start building, but, you know, do good quality work. I was doing good work anyway, but, you know, this will expedite the process. Actually, I think that's it. Well, how's life been with you? What have you been practicing? Which I think is right. Should be playing a Dorian. second there. Deaf to demands. Let me. Actually, I should probably move this up. Help keep better eye contact with y'all, fellas. Anyway, met a girl online the other day, but all right, practicing your buttocks. Well, women can make you want to practice, and that's good. So let's see. Looking forward to the Fates Warding Static Axe you requested. Yes, well, part of the machine. I did say that Static Axe, I only really like the intro to that. I mean, it's not a matter of like. It's just a matter of like, for that particular song, that whole type of thing, that and the type of deal, harmony with that. I just groove on that like crazy. It's fantastic. But I wanted to do part of the machine. So that I haven't even worked on at all yet. Sorry. I've had an interesting week. I've been playing about an hour a day, and that's not nearly enough. But I'll tell you what, unlike Fate's Warning, I learned a Van Halen song. No offense. It was for a group that I was going to be playing with, and that just kind of fell through. Member things. It's, personal, like, I don't really want to play with you guys. So I didn't really want to play with them anyway, but that's different. Any chance do I know Predict a Riot by Kaiser Chiefs? No, I never heard of it. Never heard of it. But that we can fix very shortly. However, part of the machine will happen. Getting back to what I was saying, as Deaf to Demands was so deftly saying. That's absolutely going to happen. I freaking love that tune. So, and I think that's somebody going, well, along with the nice suspended chord in there. So like the Blue Mox, nice to see you again. Yeah. Type of thing, but again, I haven't even started working. That's all memory. Nevertheless, all right. Yes. Hello. So let's try. Well, When You Can is going to be the fun part. The Van Halen thing is also equally fun. I do have to say that I never did learn, and I feel like there's a remiss part of this. 41 years ago, 1984, right? And I don't want to admit that, but it's true. 41 years ago, 1984 was a thing, and hemispheres in a way. Interesting. So one more quick second on that. So 1984 came out, but I never learned, and I was listening to songs like Panama and all that kind of crap, just like everybody else back then. 10-year-old boy, 1984, it's a thing. So, but I was listening to everything like that and loving it, but when it came down to it's time for me to play guitar, I was the thrash guy by that time, and I just kind of skipped the Van Halen phase. Did I ever learn any Van Halen? Let's see. How did that? That kind of thing. That kind of thing, but not really, in other words. But so when it came time to learn this, I just picked that right up. It was time to fly, but I feel like I was remiss. Like I should have learned this years and years and years ago. A good 30 at least, and it's not necessarily a beginner tune, but I would say that within the first 4 or 5 years of somebody playing guitar, you should be knowing how to play Panama by that point. Not necessarily the lead, that. Yeah. Something like that. How did that go? I don't know. That kind of thing. Really, really good stuff. But nevertheless, so what was that tune again? Let's find out. You said Kaiser Chiefs. EIFs, not the chefs. IEFS. And the song was Predict a Riot. I'll try to keep this relatively low on the grand scheme of things. Sorry about the close-ups, guys. All right, videos. All right, predicted right from the Kaiser Chiefs. Is there not one on YouTube? Be darned, it's on Facebook only. Oh, this is sucky. I do not have a Facebook account for many reasons. And it's live, which means it probably isn't them. Nope, performed by the act called Mystic. How fun. So, something like... Yep. G, good transition. Light up the sky. Let's see. Same band? Mm-hmm. Would it be a band called... Oh, Van Halen, yes. Yeah, well, hold on a second. So, yeah, give me a second here. Also, I wasn't the hugest Van Halen fan. I kind of came in late to that party. That's not to say that I'm weird or something. I am. While the other one's going, like, like, can't run up the stairs, can't run down the stairs. Since '84. Oh, come on now. Yeah, that's. I wish I started in '84. I've been playing since '88, but no, that's hilarious. That's funny. Let's see. So Van Halen tended to play in E flat. In this case, apparently not. Type of deal. So let's hear that again. Actually, could have been. It's easier to play it this way. Type of thing. But that's not what he did. It's more like a... type of deal. I can't really prove that yet, and this is just a cursory evaluation. Oh, I'm even in the wrong key there. Type of deal. So, but it's almost all fours, 4 chords. Not going to play the rest of that. Maybe I am. But it's all fourths, so it's essentially, like root 5, root again. Well, it's just these 2 parts of it. So instead of playing the whole thing, you're omitting the bass, like you'll find in the Panama. And I think you'll also find that he does that live. But he also does this live. Clint Lowry from 7 to Spectrum Junior High School. No kidding! Yeah, fret down. Like that. Or do you mean tuned to E flat? So. I had a 7 Dust record once. Hey, Zuhair, how you been, man? This is really close to... as close as I could come, actually, to the tone that I used to have back in the old place. With a little less delay and reverb. listen to this a little bit more. Good enough? Oh. Drop D? Hello, baby. You have one of those classic. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get some more gain on this. There we go. So you have to kind of do that. That's a fun one, by the way. Who taught me? Several. I had several instructors. So the first instructor was a guy named Warren Mason over in a place called Rosevere's Music in Aberdeen, Washington. I took lessons from him for about 8 months. It started out as classical lessons. He didn't really know classical, but he was teaching me out of a book. Realized, no, man, you're more of a rock guitar guy, and you should probably stick with that. You know, get an electric, go that route. And I listened to him, and I did. So there's that. Quit taking lessons from him. About 3 or 4 months later, I hooked up with a guy named Tom Queen. And if you can find anything on that guy, I cannot, but if you can, he's one of the best guitarists I've ever met. He's amazing. So drop D forever. Now we play open tunings. Well, a lot of people do. You know, open tunings are I think, you know, they call them alternate tunings, but I think they're pretty common nowadays. It's just open tunings is probably the way to call it. Anyway, Tom taught me a whole bunch of stuff, like how scale patterns connect across the neck. Had me do all sorts of weird exercises, like this one at 7. And so forth. So I kind of blame him for the technique that I had built up, at least until, you know, from 14 to 16 is somewhat my fault, and then a lot of Tom Queen getting in there and going, well, you can do this. You know, a lot of legato stuff. Boy, that actually is kind of loud. And then there's, excuse me, I stopped taking lessons from him when he went, I think he went to Alaska, but essentially, I had learned all he could teach me, and you know, move on from there. I couldn't play as well as him by any means. He'd been playing for like 20 years, well, because it makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you rely on tonality over, you know, rote positions. You know, it makes you think about the sound of the chord that you're making and where it is that you want the next note to live. Stuff like that. So when I was 18 and mentorless at this point, I was looking for, well, I was kind of shopping around as a hotshot guitar player. And in Rosevere's in Aberdeen, once again, I came across this scrawny little guy, tall, really, but scrawny, you know, chain smoker, and always wearing a ball cap for some reason. No, thanks, man. But no, you guys are the ones that are watching. You guys are the awesome ones. But so I ran into a guy named Kevin Wire, and Kevin said, well, I heard you playing out there in the, you know, because I was trying out a guitar like you do at a music store when you're 18 and can't really buy them. You can play them, though. He said, yeah, you're pretty good. And then he immediately pulled out his book, and he started asking me questions. Tell me, how do you spell an A minor 7 chord? And I'm like, A-M-I-N-O-R. And he said, I know exactly right where to start you. How about next Thursday? So I took lessons from him for a year, and then a few years later, another year, and you know, a couple of years later for a few months. But that was it. And he was a Berkeley grad, not a Berkeley grad, sorry, a GIT grad, but first or second year. Back when it was called Berkeley West. So I took lessons from him, and I absolutely loved the guy, and he taught me an awful lot about a lot of things, and he sparked an interest in that's been lifelong ever since, is that when you listen to somebody, you don't listen to them, you try to hear their influences in them. So now it's kind of automatic, but it isn't how it started. It's just, you know, I'd play something from, you know, like a Randy Rhoads, like, and screw it up all over the place. But I'd play something like that, and he'd say, oh, yes, that was from so-and-so. Or, you know, the classic, what is that, Malmsteen type of thing. He would say, oh, yes, well, slow that down, and it's Uli Roth. That kind of stuff. And so you don't listen to your influences after a while. You start listening to your influences. And you start picking stuff up. Maybe I'll listen to something from the 70s and go, wait a minute. That sounds exactly like somebody I already listened to. And, you know, you can tell who they listen to by that. So just kind of this big, giant connected tree all the way down. It never ends, by the way, but it's really cool. Hard time processing theory. Okay, so did I, and I think it's because it's taught wrong in a lot of cases. But problem with theory is is that you can take a chord and spell it like so many different ways. Like for every single note that's in the chord, you could spell a whole new chord off of it, and it's no exaggeration. Assuming that there is a bass going on, I mean, I just think it could be taught a whole lot more simply and still make a lot of sense to people. Music theory is only useful, by the way, to other musicians, talking ideas back and forth. That's it. That's the only thing it's for. It's not for yourself to understand, the mechanics of a fretboard and how to get the sounds out of it that you want to get. It's not necessarily a compositional tool. Having a good sense of it will help you like do leads over rhythms. So if I'm sounds very Van Halen-esque today, right? So this but if I went to C, back to E. Easy stuff. But again, the point is just to be able to communicate back and forth. Like if I said a seventh chord, what does that mean? Take a scale. Let me go back to a cleaner tone. There we go. And let's play it this way. And G major, everybody knows G major. And let's skip the second note. So instead of it's just this. Let's skip the next note, which is a fourth. Go straight to the fifth, and now we have an arpeggio. It's it is a G major triad. That's another way to play it. Let's start repeating notes. Well, that's just a G. That's the root, so it's a repeated root. There's the fifth again, or excuse me, is that the fifth? Yes. That's the fifth. Same place. So a G major chord is essentially just a G major triad with some extensions. If we wanted to add another note to that, skipping another note, instead of playing this note, we'll play the 7. And now we have a major 7 chord. To spice it up a little bit. Same thing. Theory has its place, but again, it's not meant to color your vision. So somebody says that, oh, you went to school for guitar, that means you only play like this. No, I play how I want. I could just explain it to you. That's the difference. So, and you can do the same with music theory. It's just a matter of know your notes, know how they connect with each other. Excuse me. What things like suspension means, sus2 and sus4 is if you don't have a third in the chord. So what is all this third stuff that I'm talking about? This 1, 2, 3 in the major, 1, 2, 3. If I was to play it minor, you take that third and flat it 1, 1, 2, 3, and that means a minor third is a flatted major third. Now some things have that kind of naturally in it, but we don't kind of confuse the two. So it's fun. I am your friend. Very well. Hello. You should play off your emotions, but not let other people do the same. So, psychic vampires, bad. I was asked the other day by a good fellow that I actually know. Not very well, though. He asked me about my picking hand. He said it was unusual for a lot of the techniques that I'm playing is kind of unusual, for like the speed picking thing. And I think the main reason why, and I think I'm going to clip this out, this section here really quickly, and send it to him directly, just as a direct answer, unless he's listening now, in which case, hello. But is that I got the speed thing in the Sean Lane way. Look here, man. I strived for that too. I feel you. I really do. I feel you exactly. That was one of my favorite tunes back then. I used to listen to that all the freaking time. 89, 1990. Yeah, I rarely put that album. It's still one of my top 10 albums of all time, as far as like you can listen to the whole thing and not be disappointed once. It's great. So, but the I Brigade of Dreams was like the Everest, It's 22 plus minutes long, almost 23 minutes long. And as a result of it being so long, it is an exercise in memorization. And for an older guy, hello, that can be tricky. But lucky me, I know the music. And so a lot of the connections I made with what's what felt almost natural. It didn't. The Frank Aresti stuff is alien to me. I feel like every time I attempt anything Frank did it's an exercise in disappointment for me. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Insofar as the Frank stuff, that whole, and this is where it started, by the way. And the harmony part. Actually, how did that go? That's it. With me doing that. Which is another reason why I did it, by the way. Nobody did a full cover. I've seen a couple of covers here and there of a couple of pieces of it, and I'm like, you got to play this as a whole. You can't just sort out a song. You can't just say, I want to play this part. You got it. The song needs to be taken as a whole. Kind of like the band Neobliviscaris and their album Citadel. That is a 44-minute work. You got to listen to the whole thing. It's just not, it's not meant to be separated up into little chunks. It flows, it ebbs and flows. It's a big old roller coaster, just like the I Brigade of Dreams is a big roller coaster. Now, you may not like the music that I just talked about with Neobliviscaris. You may, because you'll definitely have appreciation for the musicianship, but the thing about them is that they are kind of a death metal band. But it's progressive death, and they've got clean vocals, and even a violinist. They're from Australia, and they're freaking amazing. The album Citadel, do look that up. You probably should, just to know it. Well, because I love the music. So that. Learn that. That'll get you started. And these chords, that's an amazing sound. You got to admit, that's an amazing sound. A lot of people are. I'm not a big Rush fan. I mean, I'm aware of like, what is that? I'm aware of stuff, and I've played a couple of things from them in like a couple of bands that I was in, but I don't seek them out. No offense, Rush is great, and I appreciate them. Otherwise, if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have bands that I listened to, and if we didn't have those bands that I also listened to, we wouldn't have some of the bands I listen to now. So they're important. I just didn't really care for them. But there are 6 songs from them that I'm extremely fond of, like Subdivisions, which not a lot of people that are really diehard Rush fans like Subdivisions, but I like Subdivisions. Let's see, Spirit of Radio is great until the middle part where they go reggae. Do you really think so? I don't think so. Because I mean, if you listen to the early stuff, like with John Arch singing, it's more like we're Iron Maiden with Rush time signatures. And also vocal lines that kind of go all over the place. I don't know how he memorized his own stuff, but I'm guessing he sang a bit like David Lee Roth back in the day. Just kind of winged it when he got up there, but and then had to memorize it later on. But it's just a guess. Yeah, 54. Hey, 51. No, I understand completely, though. I mean, there are bands that made an impact for me that probably also made an impact for you. But for me, it was bands that listened to Rush that I liked, and then, go back and experience Rush. There's, like I said, like 6 tracks that I really like from them. And I got their whole discography. so, so YYZ being one of them. Yeah, that's freaking great. Now, Alder, thank you. Yes, Arch was the second one. My mistake. They both start with an A, and they both have about the same length of last name. So it's a mistake, but I think a good one. It could have been worse. So let's talk about these chords really quick. So as we just spelled this, being a G major 7, this likewise, that's up there. This is literally a C major 7, just playing the 5 on a higher octave. Going up to here, this is D minor. Okay, D minor. This would be a flat 7, so D minor 7. So in the case of a D minor 7, you don't have to worry about the 7th being flatted. It's always going to be flatted unless it's a dominant. Oh, wait, no. Yes. So something like this. Yeah. Let me do this. Yes. I was right. So, and then you add that G back there, and that alters the tonality slightly. That actually suspends a 4th, but it's not a suspended 4th in this case. Because you have a 3rd, you have no suspension. Because the 3rd is there, and you can determine that it's minor, you have a minor 7, add 11, so, or a minor 7, 11. So that's cute. Then back to the A, gallop. Yes, Arch was first. I knew the first one was first. The second one's usually second. And once again with the... yes, more Maiden. Definitely more Maiden at the time. And I wouldn't even say, like early Iron Maiden, although that was definitely there. And I actually would go ahead and contend that early Queensryche was present as well. Because Alder was, thank you, more like, I think, Jeff Tate in several ways than he was like Bruce Dickinson or even Paul Di'Anno. So definitely less like Paul Di'Anno. But the guitars were a little more Maiden-esque. Run through a Rush filter. Going on with the story, though, as soon as you get John Arch in there, and watch, his name's Mark now, and Mandela effect. But yeah, as soon as you get singer number 2 in there, thank you, it becomes something completely different. It's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't say completely different. They certainly sounded like themselves. But I think, weirdly, they became a bit more commercially acceptable because the guy's vocal melodies were a little more in tune with, the harmonies of the guitars, my opinion. So, yeah, all right, cool. And in fact, what is that? No Exit was the first album I ever got from them, for crying out loud. So, and consequently, Anarchy Divine being the first tune I ever heard from them on Headbangers Ball one night at the very end of it. I had to go out and buy the album because that was freaking amazing. That whole, that whole thing, and then starting out with some sort of a Phrygian dominant. No. I never learned that one. But maybe I should. No, it was type of thing. So maybe it was harmonic minor. Type of deal. I don't know. Never learned it. But again, perhaps I should. It's a great song. The very first time I heard them sing, I was like, yep, this is fantastic. Holy crap. So I wasn't even into King Diamond yet. That was still on the way, but didn't take too long. It took about 3 or 4 more months before me to get into them. So Anarchy Divine, yes. then there's some sort of something like that. Again, memory and ear. I haven't sat down and said, okay, this is what they're doing exactly. So, real quick on this. That one. Thank you. This, it's 14/8 time. So if you're counting, you know, if you're the counting type, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, you know. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the only real way to count it. So, yeah, I couldn't help but notice that. The Amen belongs to them. I believe you commented on the tutorial for that. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. So, good times. Rest in peace, Oz. Anyway, on with the show. Anybody have any questions? Oh, yes, I was getting back to the whole thing with my picking hand being a bit unusual. Because I ascribed to the Sean Lane theory of how to play fast. I mean, for the longest time, I did sit down and do the whole... Well, I'm here to help, man. And I appreciate your appreciation. You know, I would do all the exercises and I would try to be as clean as possible, but I always had this kind of thing where playing with the upstroke when crossing strings was a little difficult for me. It's difficult for everybody. That's the problem. It's a hurdle that we all have to overcome. But I had a speed limit set on that I just couldn't get past on like a physical level, no matter what I tried to do. This whole type of thing is tough for me. I would much rather not play it that way if possible. And the reason why is Sean Lane. Sean Lane said, you know, start all your fast runs with an upstroke. And I'm like, you're crazy. Holy shit, he's not crazy. So if I started on the top string with a downstroke, I can immediately start with the rest with an upstroke. Up, down, up, for instance. If I started with an upstroke, it's clumsy, I'm fumbling, it's just not right. With this, I'm locked in. There's no problem there. Some of the things that I do to maintain this, especially while standing up, is I have a lot of thumb and forefinger movement, just kind of balancing. Like if you ever watch Danny Spitz, he's almost all thumb and forefinger. The rest of it really never moves unless he's doing a lot of down picking. But this works pretty well. I also tend to, instead of doing what they teach in cracking the code, which is keeping your hand kind of cocked this way, so that downward pick slant, around doing the... Not like I can't do that. I mean, I can, but that's just not something I prefer. I prefer an upward pick slant. And I learned that on accident because the old Jackson guitars had a volume knob directly below the pickup. And as a result of it being right there, it's in your way. So if you're picking down like this, it's going to be right there. You're going to be hitting it all the time. Or you're going to be, and adjusting your volume. Or you can go like this and stay away from it. So I learned the upward pick slant on accident as a trick to do like, faster runs. And you know what? It just works. So I stuck with it. But I didn't have a real intent. Once I saw or found the Sean Lane thing, everything just kind of opened up. The sky opened, and it's just kind of like, all right, go. So if I can give exercises, for instance, that kind of thing, or really fast. I can do stuff like that. I can tell you to do stuff like that. But when it comes down to exactly, you must pick exactly this note at exactly this spot. I think that kind of falls apart because no two people have the same physiology. My hand is built the way it's built. I've got habits that I've spent years learning or developing inadvertently or advertently. It's no two people are alike. So when you play fast, you just kind of have to let your hand naturally do what it's supposed to do what it wants to do. The best way I can think of to tell you all exactly what I mean by this is literally play on one string and play as fast as you can on that one string. Then decide to play faster. That's not a joke. So if this is all you've got, fine. Try speeding it up. Maybe angle your hand differently and see if you can do it faster. Maybe angle the pick differently to see if you can play it faster. That's this way or this way. Maybe angle it this way or that way in your thumb and forefinger, or if you use both fingers like Van Halen or whatever. Well, no, not everyone can be expected to do. So that's another thing. There are physical limitations to humans. I cannot jump out my window and expect to fly. I will fall just like everyone else. Hopefully there isn't everybody else jumping out of my window. That would be weird and hard to explain to the police. But the idea is that since my fingers aren't this long, I am technically limited from the start at being able to do large stretches. Now, when it comes to stretching, a higher strap helps. So let's bring that up quite a bit and cinch it up to where it is where you're normally sitting down. So when you stand up, it's exactly the same. Now, you look like a knob. You're not a rock and roll guitar player when you're doing this, unless you stand like this so nobody can tell. It's the Jeff Young technique from Megadeth. Well, back in the day at least. So this long stretches, or you still have to kind of bring up the guitar, right? That kind of thing. It's easier, of course, when it's up. But if I had longer fingers, doing the Marty Friedman thing, or doing it right, it's easier to do it if you have hands the size of Buicks as opposed to hands the size of Volkswagen Beetles. So, like myself. But, I mean, it's not like it's impossible, that kind of stuff. But it does work. I am a Racer X fan. So, yeah. Oh, dude, Paul Gilbert's one of my favorites of all time. When I was 18, going on 19, my grandparents invested a little in my guitar playing and bought me Paul Gilbert's Intense Rock original, with the guitar tricks in it. Let me saw a guitar in half and stuff like that. That kind of thing. It was really great. We have some of the best dad joke puns ever. It's the presents, for ADAs. The presents, and they throw presents at them. Great stuff. Well, at any rate, so that was that. And this hole with volume, that well, without that. I was a fan. I guess I could just cut it short and say, yeah, they're great. Actually got a lot of vibrato, stuff like that from Paul. And I did do technical difficulties once. And I will say it this way, I did not do it well. I practiced it for like a week and a half, and I could only get so far. So do I remember anything from it? Nope. So I do not. But I remember there was some similarities as far as like the and the scales being used and the particular positions, like Old Ingve Marching Out. Yeah, oh no, that's a great album. In fact, I think that's my favorite album from him. Did I learn anything from it? Yeah, I'm a Viking once, a long time ago. Yeah, Ingve ripoff. I don't remember that. It was something like, something like that. But I don't remember anything else from it, but I am a fan of Racer X. Let's just say Live Extreme Volume 1 and 2 have really never left my phone. So, and get listened to on a semi-regular basis anyway. I think the last time I listened to the whole thing's on the way back from Arizona, or excuse me, was on the way back from Arizona back in April. So I had a lot of time. Might as well listen to a lot of tunes, right? So, Zuhair, good night to you. Have a wonderful and pleasant sleep, and hopefully I'll see you in a week. This little addition, but I spent a long time not learning other people's material. Let me stop there. So from my 4th year of guitar playing, so I was actually 6th year. So from the time I was 21, I guess year 7, all the way until like 2020, I intentionally didn't learn anybody else's stuff because I didn't want to sound like them. Yeah, partially. But mainly because I didn't want the magic to go away from the music, you know. So it's kind of like knowing how a potato chip is made. It's just not so magical when you take it out of the bag anymore. I was afraid that I was just gonna kill the magic of it. So Icon, Arizona area. Oh, never heard of. I was in Arizona for 3 days and 5 nights. A friend of mine was getting married, so I went. But I mean, we might as well ask, you know, about Fight, for that matter, from back in '92. Ah. So let's listen to Icon, sure. Okay. ICON band. How about that again? ICON band. Not Bond. Oh dear, oh dear. The O is all the way on the other side too. Ah, them. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Let's hear some of your originals. You can hear some of my originals. Okay. So as far as originals are concerned, and this is not a cop out, but it is a cop out. Let me put it this way. If I recorded something for posterity, it's for me to enjoy later on, maybe go back to, maybe extrapolate, you know, expand on it. But when I write something, I don't write for memorization purposes. I write to get it out for what's there right now. I did write a couple of non-metal songs, decidedly, that I do remember because I wound up playing them for like 6 months straight, practically. So this, that. And I'm not joking. I know this is very ZZ Top, but I wrote it that way with a purpose. So. Because the song itself is tongue-in-cheek. It just has a ripping solo in it that sounds a lot like Michael Shaker in places and Tony McAlpine and others. And it's called Pumpkin Spice, and you can find it on my channel. And yes, it's me singing I'm Sorry. So when it comes down to 1984 Icon. Oh, right here, the album. Rock and Roll Maniac. That sounds cute. Another one that I did that if Melina was listening right now, or Black Pillow with Julka, she would probably ask me to play. Kitty Cat wakes up, I forget the lyrics already. Kitty Cat leaps up into the room, then he walks inside. He sees me sitting with my legs on the desk, my lap unoccupied. Just about ready to start my day. I stretch and start to move. Kitty comes over and lays right down. Now he's sealed my doom. You know, Kitty Cat's laying upon my lap. Now I'm paralyzed. So it's Cat Paralysis. It's another original. You can find it. So. Now I'm paralyzed. Oh, no. Now, I did write some stuff about 20 years ago that I still kind of remember some of the parts of. Yeah. That's it. That's it. So let's try that. So. That's not exactly correct. At that point, it goes to G. So at that point, you've got rhythms behind it. If I played it right. Anyway. Nope, nope. It's been a long time. So here we go. Oh, hey, how you doing, bro? Big smart ass and everything. So let's see, copying everything I'm doing. Lifetime. Everything I'm doing? So if I'm going like this, he's going to go like this too, but right next to you. Right on. Well, maybe he's going to play his guitar upside down as well and still do things like this. Yes, yes, that's fun. So that's the whole problem with the shredder trope, is that all we do is this. And that's only half true. The other half of the time, we're doing things like this. You know, so that's that. So that's great. All right, is he still doing it? Because I'm going to still do this like the whole time that I'm trying to explain this kind of stuff to you guys. Yes, yes. Now I'm going to turn my hat on around sideways just a little bit. Is your brother doing that too? I don't know. Let's find out. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Is he a chaos coordinator? Is he going to do stuff like this? All right, great. Is he going to play his guitar behind his head? Ah, fooled you. I'm not going to do it. So I used to be able to back when I was a shredder. Anyway, yeah, I'm glad you got the joke. So as far as like rhythms and stuff like that in originals, I have written a copious quantity of originals. But just like with my covers, it's kind of like I learn what it is that I need to do, and I pop it into a DAW, and I record everything, and once everything is recorded, I just move on, and then, you know, other stuff comes up. And I never really practiced anything to memorization, except for the stuff that I kind of play. Oh, yeah, and this one. What's that? I should explain, he's been playing 54 years, teaching for 47. Ah, yes, okay. So he probably does have the wherewithal and capacity to do the type of thing. Let's see here. Can I come up with something really quickly that he can't do very, very well? Oh, yeah, let's try this. In other words, no. So go for it. Do it, man. How about 8 fingers? Fun. Try that one. But everybody can do the Van Halen stuff. So let's try another thing that's fun. You see, you're making me reach here. I'm not sure if I can actually pull something like that off, but I'd love to have an opportunity to try. So if we're doing a head cutting contest, it'd be fun. Nope. Ha ha. So that's fun. What about this? So this is pretty easy. What about that? 2 fingers. So if I did this. Oh, dude, still one of my favorites. Do I do requests? Kai and Maxi Adventures, hello. My problem is I may not know them. So you can request, and I can either say sure or shoot you down or maybe even try to learn something. There was an icon tune that I had to listen to here really quickly. The hell kind of chord is that? Oh, I see. So it's from a type of deal there. So do the cricket. No, I don't. I really don't. Sorry, like that band so much. I appreciate what they've done for some things, like strings, but you know, and you know, effects and gear and production and stuff like that. But well, he's too kind of an individual. I'm just goofing off, so. Guitar noises are fun. Oftentimes I've done things like, let's go ahead and try that. Yes, there we go. If you have any cats in the room, turn it up. You know, really, sorry. Of course, that laugh from the back, you know, that thing. That. But fast, so. And by the way, I should probably say that I've never really learned the difference between polyphia and periphery. So for those of you who are wondering, I think those two names are very, very close. Polyphia, I'm not a fan of Tim Henson. I think Necktat can't play a tune, you know, to save his life, really. But he can write or record and play his own compositions, but when he's put on the spot and he's asked to improvise, he can't do it. And to me, that is a huge hallmark of an actual, like, kind of a bad player. If you can't just sit and listen to somebody doing the... I don't care if it's not your style. If you can't just sit in there and go... You know, if you can't just sit in with that, you got a real problem. You know, I don't care if it's, I mean, it's especially at somebody at his level, because he's a ridiculously good technician. I've heard that's the Tim, you know, Necktat guy. He's extremely good. He's so good. He's so talented. It ain't funny. But he's never worked on doing the one thing that's really going to help him improve as a musician with a musicianship level, you know, camaraderie with other people, which is improvisation. So, you know, that's. Well, good, because, you know, it's not a matter of can't. It's just a matter of why would you want to? Leave it to them. You know, if you want to sound like a MIDI track, be my guest. I don't like sounding like MIDI. I think perfection in music is left best for computers. You know, there should be, you know, little quirks and features to make you know. Thank you, Doug DeMuro. Quirks and features to make you know that you're listening to a human. And, you know, with Tim Henson and production techniques, modern production techniques. And in fact, in Rings of Saturn, I'm just not getting that. So, yeah. So, at any rate, why I showed Horizon Strings when asked about polyphia makes up the two makes sense. So, yeah, there you go. Now you understand. Yeah, I've never been able to really understand. Yeah, one is one is the other. I just don't care. I'm all for, like I said, the good production of that one band and for the other one. And I'm not trying to talk shit. It's just I'm not into it, you know? And I would expect the same. If I was to say, hey, guys, let's listen to some Bonnie Raitt, and you guys would probably all bail. That's the point. You know, it's okay to not like things. So and I don't care for their music. You know, one, because their singer's crap, and, you know, in my opinion, and so forth. See, there you go. Thanks. So it is, though. It's okay for people not to like things, and I don't like them. But you can make as many requests as you like. Like I said, I'd be happy to shoot them down. But I'm, you know, it's kind of a, if I was to describe myself, I would say, you know, standardized, you know, fair rock and roll guitar player kind of a guy. I'm fully versed in, like, thrash metal from the 80s. That's what I trained to do. So the downpicking is, you know, it's pretty solid and good. But the, you know, when it comes down to, what's that? Now I know why hanging with you is easy for me. I'm like your brother. Okay, well, that's great to know. All right, man. Very cool. So, but yeah, so I got my downpicking, you know, and I've got the, you know, the what is it, the extreme aggressions type of thing. So, you know, fast type of deal going, but, or even for, like, happy thrash, MOD, yeah. So classic metal, hard rock guitar player. That's yeah. Oh, and thrash metal. But that's that's kind of as far as I go. Lucky for me, King Diamond is. I am a fan, but I'm mumbling here because the actual tune eludes me. On the 7th day of July, so all I can think of is the beginning. With here we gather here to lay to rest. Abigail Raphael, who we now know was first born dead on the 7th day of July, 1777. So and so forth. And also Wild and Crazy Guys from Saturday Night. All right. So, yeah. Here we go. Walk over here. Yeah. So, that was the good old days. So, let's, if you said Abigail, I would just go ahead and go. That's it. That's a completely different thing. So this is actually disturbing to me. Well, all right, very cool. Whoops, overshot. But starts with acoustic. Well, if you're just talking the that type of thing. But this is Black Horseman. I think it's something like that. But, it's, again, been a while. And usually, like I said, learn a cover. I had long hair when I had that one down. But learn a cover and then move on. And then you just kind of forget you ever did it. It's like when you climb a mountain, you remember some parts of it. I remember that rock that was there. This tree was really crazy. And man, I was out of breath by the time I got to the top. But when you don't really necessarily recall the entire journey, and you can't necessarily recite the entire journey in your head. Yeah, Black Horseman, good. So yeah, that was a fun one, actually, and that was also by request. So I do them. Let's see. Listen. Musical, metal, King Diamond, or Adolescent Leftovers, King Diamond. This is my thought process, and how do I get all this stuff in one place? 7th day of July, 1777. 77 on the 7th day of July. Right, okay. Let's see. So, of course, it also could be. Could even be. Okay. Probably. Yeah. Pretty sure. Going on with that. Right. So moving on. Something like that. And then harmony. Proceeding on, because it's basically variations of the same thing. Give me a riff. Oh. And so let's get a little more gain here. And let's tighten down the whammy bar, because when it comes down to this, he's going to be doing this. For effect. Now, I think he also does some flutter in there. So you get that. But, and now if we're doing this. Type of deal. It's very reminiscent, in my opinion, of the, what is that tune from Voodoo? The Loa House. So pull it off. What, with this? I mean, that's kind of a pull-off. If you're just doing this. Doesn't quite sound right to me. I think it's the... Yes, see. But you got to get that little dive in the end. And, you know, the interesting thing is when you have flutter on that, the flutter lasts a little bit even while you're diving. So it's kind of a neat little Larochism. Another neat little Larochism is to, you know, pull the bar back. That's a pretty easy way of doing that type of deal. So, and the classic... Something like that. So, oh, with the cricket. There we go. Well, it was better before, wasn't it? You know what? It'd be get a thin pick. Something like this. And then you'll get a lot more chirp. See what I'm saying? So what I was using before, if you were interested, is an 88, but I don't know where the hell it went. Yeah, it's all right. I just learned how. Oh, you just learned how. Sorry. That took me a second, bro. So, not a pick scrape. So, cricket being fluttering the bar. Really? Oh, I would have totally. Oh, you mean like. Turn it up a little. So, this would be. Depends on. Okay, so if you're going to do it that way, you should get a bar with very kind of proud set screw here, and that will help you go so. But this, the pick scrape, it's the only way I think a cricket should be able to be done. Doing it any other way, a cricket, yeah. Maybe a. Like I was doing in the beginning of 7th day of July. Oh, that cricket. That probably with a lot less volume and gain. Okay, I can see how that could be kind of confused, is it? But crickets are less melodic. Now, so I have an opinion on that. Oz is an amazing guitar player. Very, very good. I've heard some things from him. I listened to The Hell with the Devil one time, and I was very much impressed by both Michael Sweet's and Oz Fox's guitar playing. I have not heard him do the cricket. So, yeah. But, nevertheless, competent guitar player. Very good guitar player. On with the story. So, let's see here. What's after that? I have sharp. Yeah. But I know there's in there as well. So I'm way off, but this is the problem with learning on the fly and hearing and then repeating. You're going to be off sometimes. So if you were to sit down and learn the tune, it would literally be do what I just did, kind of play along, have that song louder than you are, and it'll help you kind of pinpoint those errors more quickly. I'm not talking like huge volumes louder, but, it'll help you pinpoint the errors a little more quickly because you'll hear, kind of a sonic, it will be dissonance. If it doesn't sound exactly right, it's wrong, and you'll hear it. So there'll be little things in there, like if I'm one fret off, it'll be, you'll hear this. And, that doesn't sound consonant at all because it's dissonant. It's not right, at least for the tune. But that's pretty much it. Listen to how it goes. Try to memorize how it goes. Put your fingers to work and see if you can't, decipher it from there. It's pretty cool. Well, that's the thing. You give me another hour and I'll have the thing. So that's... Oh, no problem. I've never tried to learn it, so there's that. Back to this. Oh, you do the same thing. Good. And you should use your ears. Tabs are bad for you. I mean, I've gone through this thing several times. It may be helpful to the beginner, but if they don't give up those crutches, within a couple of years, they're in for a lifetime of disability. And that's not a joke at all. I basically remained ear disabled until I was 46. So 5 years ago. I mean, I went straight to ear and ear only at that point, partly because I was legally blind and I couldn't see a dang thing. I can now, but, if you're going to learn and you can't see, well, it's ear or nothing. And so it turns out, after playing for a long time, I kind of developed an ear. It was just really underused. And so I had to kind of learn how to use it. But you know what? It's been the biggest blessing to me, and it would be to you too. And it's a thing. It's just, yeah. Yeah, I will. So if you want me to learn that first, I mean, I have no problem with that. Besides, I've got this track with the first 4 King Diamond out. And when I say 4, I'm counting the Dark Side's EP. Because, the Shrine... Yeah, it was... And, the lake... Yes, G. So that literally learning like every track off of it at some point in the future. I mean, I was working on T off of them. I'm much closer to having them as a completely finished. I've done Welcome Home. I've done Mother's Getting Weaker. I did Twilight Symphony, but I've done other things in between. But T, I was working on last. And you have to kind of slide that up. It's not the same if you just go. And slowly, it's not a full, you're not killing it. It's just invisible guest, yes. Excuse me. Yeah, right. Because, well, if you're going to do something, have a little fun with it. Yes, well, I do that here. Which is really... Yes. It's been a while. It's been a whole... God, since Halloween. So... Yeah. Something like that. That's it. Yeah. See, you too can fail miserably if you don't practice. So, you bought them in '88 while tripping on acid. Holy crap, really? Well, I'll tell you, I'd never done this stuff myself. But I got them in, I think it was 1989, on recommendation from a friend of mine named Melanie, who was like, it's amazing, you've got to hear it. But I didn't buy it solely off of that. I heard Welcome Home on Headbangers Ball, and I was like, well, I guess she was right. I got to go get this thing. And so ever since then... Yeah, I've had to. So. Oh my God. Yeah. Was it that way? That's something like that. Something like that. So, oh, dude, you try it again, because you're probably much more fluent now than you were at the time. So, I mean, think about it. It's and I have some tutorials up, at least for some of the material. Not necessarily, I don't have that one up, but I do have a one for them, which, oh yeah, and I've done them. That's the other one. That's the one. There we go. Excuse me. Aha, all right. There we go. Well, I was much more fluent at the time, but that's that. Ah, oh, dude, you're too much. Thank you. But not. I mean, necessarily, all King Diamond tunes from them and Conspiracy must fall to my sword. I have to be able to do them all. What I also did, Victimized, and now Amen belongs to them. And at some point, oh, just the riffs? Oh, okay. But, yeah, at some point I'm going to be doing probably Visit from the Dead. It still has one of the most pure guitar sounds in it I ever heard, and I'm just going to have to do that one of these days. It's just going to have to happen. Nevertheless, I know nothing from it except for maybe... so... That's it. So. Melina! So I think it's C. Could be. But, well, okay. I'll give you a tip on that. I mean, if you're open to it. So one of the things about the leads is playing Andy or Pete Black note for note is going to be an exercise in futility, because and this is going to harm people's egos, at least maybe visions of them. So it's almost like insulting a religion, okay? So in this case, I'm going to just say it outright. They were extremely skilled guitar players. They still are. But they were a little sloppy. And as a result of that, it's very difficult to be able to recreate exactly. I mean, like by rote. He hit this note at exactly this time, and we have to play it this specific way in order to do that. No. It's too precise. Loosen up on the precision. So when you're attacking Pete Black with a lot of these, let's see. All right. Yeah, that? Fake it. He kind of does. Watch him live. Yeah, that. There. And then he does some sort of... This is where it gets interesting. Okay? None of that's purposeful. He just kind of plays it. He just kind of does it. And when I'm saying this, when you're running, you don't really think about how you're breathing necessarily or the mechanics of breathing. So that's the whole point of this. He just kind of does it. It just kind of leaps out, right? So and then the next part. something like that. And then but the same goes for Andy. When he starts doing this kind of stuff, the no. This. Excuse me. Where was that play? No. No. Then Andy does this. So that was Pete, mostly, harmonized usually with Andy. But this. That's literally non-precision. That's absolutely like, well, thank you. See, that's the point. It's a non-precise thing. A lot of times it's playing with like the intent of the player. Once you start kind of learning their habits. So for this, for instance, that kind of thing is literally just watch him do it live, and he's not doing any kind of really specific, and it's not the most precise thing. It's just kind of a little bit of picking, a little bit of picking. You keep the pick moving, but that's not everything. And then when it comes down to this, it's just kind of moving around. So when you're doing the Pete Black - Andy LaRock thing, by the way, thank you. You're giving me the confidence to go ahead and attack this and actually do it as a cover soon-ish. I mean, I've got some other songs I got to learn by next Saturday, but aside from that, and that's for a different thing that I'm not talking about yet. But you know, if you ever heard of the phrase, "We're going to get the band back together," well, we're not, but I am going to be playing with some guys. So it should be fun. I was supposed to play with some last Saturday, but I mentioned it before. Somebody got a little too pushy, a little weird for me. Took the air out of the room, and I'm like, I ain't playing with you guys. Sorry. So I wasn't that vested in the first place. It's okay. So overall personality in the song, dude, well put, because that is exactly what you're getting right there. You're getting two well-trained feel players. So these guys literally just kind of feel it out. They play in the right key. They make sure that the right notes are hit. Andy's got a lot of interesting, like, type of Van Halen-esque type of things a lot of times. But you know, when you're doing... And my picking hand has decided to quit on me. Anyway, he's got a lot of like symmetrical stuff. So once you kind of, like I said, once you kind of learn the tropes, kind of understand, all right, he likes to play these shapes, you can probably figure out a lot of the stuff he does just by knowing some of the shapes that he adheres to and some of the position shifts that he makes. So, I mean, there's other things to it, but a whole lot of it's in there. So... let's see. I'd like to play guitar with you someday. Well, dude, if you live in Washington State, there's probably a high likelihood you can. So, or at least Western Washington. And that goes for anybody else out there in Western Washington. So the whammy thing. So I got a lot of my stuff from like Vi. I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. That kind of stuff, and they hold that kind of stuff. That kind of wet your whistle stuff. Also, I probably have to open a window. It's getting freaking hot in here. Must be the lights, LED lights, the hottest lights in the universe. Stick with me, fellas. I'll be right back. And in the meantime, I'll play notes. You were in Seattle in 17? Cool. I was not. I was in a little town called Shelton. I no longer live there. But nevertheless, sounds like you're out of here. Well, it's been nice talking to you, man. You stop by anytime, and I will start to work Probably sometime next week, maybe a little earlier if I get the time to do it on part of the machine. I'll give tips on that as I go too. Blue powder. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. You're in North Carolina? Do you happen to know Bill? I don't know where you're at in North Carolina, but nevertheless, yeah. Oh, you're still here. Oh, that's great. So, yeah, I got a friend in North Carolina named Bill, like, you know, because everybody in North Carolina is going to know everybody, right? But he runs a channel that you should check out. He's a hell of a guitar player, and you should check him out. He's a hell of a good guy, too. What's that? Guitar Pits of Horrors. He's, again, genuine nice guy. Wants to help you out if he can, that kind of stuff. So, waiting for the sleeping pill to kick in. Yeah, well, I'll be taking mine here in about 20 minutes. So that's my time limit, everybody. Oh, there's my pick. The one I was using is right here. So on with the... That's it. Something like that. That's it. How does he do the octave there? That's it. Something like that. Well, again, memory, but it's a melody, and it just happens to be a very hummable melody. So that's it. So Greensboro, North Carolina. You are, to the untrained me, how far away from Cullowhee? Oh, thanks. So there we go. And let's see, Charlotte, Asheville. Oh, Greenville. I thought I was on it, but no. Oh, Greensboro. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you're a long way away. Quite a distance. So let's see. There's that one. Bloop. And going over here to Statesville, Lexington, over here, Greensboro. Bloop. Yeah, you're 197 miles away. That's quite a distance. So I need to do something with some guys. I'd like to do something with some guys. Well, let me rephrase that. I think something musical with other people that also play music would be kind of a nice thing. So, but that's what I'm going to be doing this coming Saturday. It's just for a few minutes, and it's some stuff that I used to play, like Going Down, you know. Let's see. Yeah, how do they... Yeah. You hear it on every like G3, stuff like that. Then we got what? Yeah. Reaper, you know. Stuff like just a bunch of guys getting around and playing some stuff. And, you know, generals gathered in their masses, just like what you said, says. Yeah. That's the... Now, if you listen to the original recording, he actually does that one more time. Everybody else who covers it does not. So, politicians, they lock themselves away. And then back to this. I always like Zach Wilde's little thing. Yeah, I do. Like old enough for you? Oh, high and dry, old Def Leppard. Maybe I should read the whole sentence and then make a fool out of myself later. That's Pyromania. My apologies. High and dry. Yeah, no, never learned anything from that, including like bringing on the heartbreak and stuff like that. But I mean, I probably could. Yeah, so give me some time on that. Maybe I can learn some of it. I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, I kind of skipped that one. It's a weird one. I mean, my first rock and roll album ever in my life was Pyromania. I got it when I was 9, so 1983, for Christmas. And that, 7th grade to you, 9-year-old Kirk to me. I'm still in 3rd grade. But I was heading straight to it, No, so it's all good. I know you got me by a couple of years there, bro. So, but no, that set the course. That was it, man. That set the path. That, and then shortly thereafter, I saw something off of Kiss's Creature of the Night on Showtime. It was a video for I Love It Loud, and I'm like, yeah, shoot, this heavy metal thing it's got legs. So, Switch 265, don't know about that. So, or 625, yeah, still don't know about it. So. I've seen worse. Dang. Again, Pickenham seems to say, not tonight. A lot of the ones that we've talked about tonight. So, guitar specifically, I still say the tone on Pyromania, rhythm sound, is the best rhythm sound I've ever heard in my life. It's ballsy and crisp and clear. It's got a lot of heft, but a lot of clarity. And I love the crap out of it. So that's as far as tonal influences are concerned, that's one. For leads, Andy LaRocque has influenced me on tone. I'm just talking tone now. Has influenced me like nobody else. It's like the most pure, clean, clear sound, and really it's a Gallon-Kruger, HM 200, something like that, or 250, the GK 250, yeah, the GK 250 ML. That's it. That it wasn't a Marshall after all. He still pushed it with a tube screamer, and it still came out of a Marshall cabinet, but that was what they used in the studio. Whether or not he was using Duncan pickups in the studio to record A Visit from the Dead, or whether it was the what are those things called? PJ Marks humbuckers of some sort, I don't know. And I don't think I'll ever know, but I've gotten really close to his tones before, and I think I know the path. I know how to get there. Anyway, so that kind of stuff that really, really, really clear type of thing. I mean, I dig the crap out of it. So as far as players are concerned, Satriani, huge influence. Paul Gilbert, huge influence. But as Randy Rhoads would tell you, you'll listen to who's good, and your influences will change over time as a result of it. So, drop the D to the first and second string to it as well. Oh, sure, I understand that. Fate's Warning was another one that influenced me. See, Metallica, of course, they're the reason why I picked up the guitar in the first place. That whole That's why I picked it up. I had to do that. And at the time, I was listening to other like classical pieces and stuff too. But that's the whole thing for me. I just had to do it. So I guess Metallica was one of the biggest influences, following, of course, Megadeth, Anthrax, Exodus, Halloween. That's not thrash, but still. Creator. Oh, geez. Slayer to one extent or another. Ozzy Osbourne and every guitar player he's ever had, including, let's talk Black Sabbath as well. But, come on, man. That was Ozzy Osbourne. Anyway, yeah, I know Dio, of course, but not so much Dio. I liked his stuff, but I never got anything from him. I learned a couple of things. I learned Last in Line, but that's about it. So, you play... Oh, really? Holy crap, really? Okay, so I've met Tony. He wouldn't remember me. It was at a clinic at Music 6000. But he actually influenced the daylights out of me. So, yeah, if you pick a guitar player that was good back in the 80s or 90s, which is hard to find in the 90s, just because of commercial airplay, it was over for the scene of people who actually practiced their instruments to get good. Yeah, I'm bitter. Take that. But if you go back and you listen to just about any guitar player worth their salt in the 1980s, I probably was influenced by them. The same goes for, like I said, thrash players and all that. Death metal guys, so Chuck Schuldiner, I'm pretty big on him. Paul Masvidal, amazing guitar player, holy crap. I still, type of thing. I mean, that's just amazing. So you started out with Kiss, Ozzy, then thrash, and now prog. Yeah, I don't have a problem with prog. I think you may have noticed. So I don't actively seek it out, but there's some stuff from my history that I'm absolutely solid on, like the Fates Warning stuff. I like early Dream Theater, the first two albums with Kevin on them. So the keyboardist. Those were fantastic, and they're absolutely. In fact, in the '90s, I was pretty much the only good player as John Petrucci. It's not true, but as far as like any well-known, renowned guitar player, that's one you're gonna find. But and of course, oh yeah, other guitar players I heard, like Steve Morse. I heard Cruise Missile for the first time, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. So Cynic, yes, absolutely, Cynic. That's right. So Cynic's focus, let's put it in perspective, shall we? Was still an unmatched work. They've never done better than that. And I've heard the demos leading up to it, and they devolved and evolved simultaneously from a pure, super fast Floridian death metal band to the most unique, creative, organically flowing piece of thing I've ever heard. So, no disrespect. Brother, it's fine. Dude, take care of yourself and enjoy your time with your bro, dude. So, yeah. And play with him. Play with him a lot. Both of you, practice this. You and he. Now, at the same time, what you're going to do is you're going to tap the octaves if you can. So just do that. And so you will go. Okay? Should sound great. Trust me. So that's just A minor triad, C major triad. Yeah, Awake was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. A, E, C, A. You can do that. That would be fun. And that's all left hand, Right? Fun. Fun stuff. My sweep picking is very much like Tony McAlpine's. I'm going to go back to Tony for a second. This swept. He does not sweep that. But he hammers it. The rest of it's picked. Doing that for me is very difficult. On the other hand, heading back down is easy for me to go ahead and do that. Going up immediately afterwards is a little harder, so I sweep that. Sorry. Anyway, let's see. Gonna practice tapping the notes on the 12th fret during all E minor tracks. Yes, that's a good start to you. You got something on your guitar effects playlist when you play. You resort to my tips. Dude, Nice. So as far as that whole tapping thing goes, 12th fret only, right? So 12th fret only. In fact, you could do this the other way. And while you're doing this. No tapping involved. Or if you wanted to do this. That's harder to do because your hands are pretty much in the way of each other. But, you know, there's other ways of skinning that cat, so to speak. It's a lot like playing piano in some cases, sure. I mean, it's not like the Satriani midnight thing with the... how did that go? That's it. That's it. I mean, that's a lot more pianistic, technically. But sounds like Satch Flying in a Blue Dream song. Oh, what I was doing there? Actually, so I saw him play live in 88 or 89, 90. It was the Flying in a Blue Dream tour. And when he played I Can't Slow Down, I think I saw for the first time ever a 4-note per string type of thing. And I was really kind of blown away by that. So I started trying to do 4-note per string stuffs. And it's not as hard as it looks. It's not as hard as it sounds either. It sounds really fast, and it is fast, but you know, with 4 fingers, you can move a lot of notes really, really quickly without much effort. And in fact, I did a thing a while ago called licks that sound impressive but aren't. One of them actually was a Petrucci lick. Type of thing. But, you know, I'm not bagging on the guy at all. It's fantastic and it's really neat, and who the hell does that? But that's actually a lot easier to do. So things like this, not hard. Because if I was doing this, I mean, that would be hard, or that's hard. That's not easy to do. It doesn't flow out, right? How many Satriani songs can I play? Well, or all the way through, or, you know, because, you know, something like... And you have to point at the audience. No, excuse me. You do that for a while. Been a while. And that didn't ring out well enough for me. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Oh boy, it's been a long time since I've done this one. Oh no. Yeah. There we go. So, yeah. And then Satch does this thing. That's not easy to do if you're not Satriani. So that, again, is not easy. So what I do instead is this. I prefer to sweep it. Because that's the kind of player I am. I'm not Joe. I play like me. So. And so forth. But yeah, I learned the whole thing last year. But anyway, so there's that. There's, you know, like, how did that go? Nothing wrong with anything off of Not As This Earth. Fantastic album. Yeah, he also complains about Jakey Lee. So the problem with Yngwie is he really is kind of the greatest guitar player that ever lived as far as electric guitar goes. He's really, really remarkable. The problem with Yngwie, on top of that problem with Yngwie, and that is a problem. You know, if you're that good and you know it, that's an issue. But not being able to actually see good in others is a real kind of, you know, that's a problem. So, you know, when you become your own biggest influence, that's a problem. So, yeah, I can't explain it any other way. If you become a caricature of yourself and you lose the ability to see, you know, anywhere outside of you, that's ego. That's a problem. Unfortunately, he's got a huge ego, and the way he could cure this is with donuts. I don't think he understands that, or maybe he does, which is why he doesn't do it. I don't know. So anyway. Well, it's about bedtime here. It's been a real good stream, actually, tonight. I love the interactivity, and I'm glad you all showed up. So, yeah, the Joe is a noob thing is hilarious. Well, going back on with it, and very quickly, you know, that I used to know how to play Ice 9, something like, how did that? Oh, yeah. That is there. That kind of stuff. Great stuff. I never really learned. Oh, I learned. Yeah, that's just. That's it. Yeah, dude. The thing about I like playing to inspire people. I like playing to inspire people too. I like, you know, if I can help in any way, shape, or form. You know, if I can help you get to a place. I'm more like a guitar coach instead of a teacher. I want to help you get to the place you want to go. I want to help everybody. I don't know why. It's just an inner compulsion. I'd like to help you. Can I help you? You know? Oh, what's the problem? Well, let's see if we can figure that out. You know, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, Crushing Day. Great stuff. I got that album right after seeing him on the Headbangers Ball. Oddly enough, you know, that was a really good format. Actual music for people in the middle of the night, you know, that didn't have a life. So, but you know, that's been a really good one. I used to play Always With Me, Always With You. That. Yeah. That's it, yeah. But I mean, I actually knew the whole thing. That, yeah. How they? I actually forget that part, but that's okay. But I mean, I learned it a long time ago, so I haven't played it since I don't think I was 21, 22. Last time I played it, that's almost 30 years ago. So nevertheless, but it was a great tune. Same with 15, 16 years 16 years since I played Summer Song. That thing, you know. Uh, uh, Let me figure it out. No. Circles. That intro lead is still one of my favorites. So, yeah. But, I don't think I may have learned that part. Something like that. G. Deal. The solo and Always With Me, Always With You is so emotional. It is. It's perfect. It's just perfect. Like the end part of like Rubina's Blue Sky Happiness. Actually, Rubina's Blue Sky Happiness was good anyway. But the end of New Day. That. Type of thing. I mean, it's so good. I mean, Vai is the guy who, and you got to credit Steve Vai. Vai is kind of the guy who got Joe the record deal on Relativity. If it wasn't for Vai, you know, cracking the code and making it big with like Zappa and you know, others, David Lee Roth and Alcatraz, for crying out loud, things like Yngwie. He had to play Yngwie stuff. Yeah. Oh shit! Look where I'm going. Yeah. So we're playing that, and all that is descending fours in F sharp minor. Really, it would be F minor because he's tuned flat. Hordes of Locusts. Yeah. And he actually does this with his fingers. Yeah. Something like it. How did that go? Yeah, something like that. All About Eve. I don't think I've heard that one. Well, let's see here. Still got that up. Please forgive the people flying about if you hear it. If you don't, that's fine. A blot is not a word. O-U-T is. Eve. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's an email. Good times. All About Eve. Joe Satriani. Yes. All right, let's see here. Very good. Oh, good. I got an order shipped. That's nice. Very good. Very good. 1 second, Seth. Thank you very much. Can't get anything on me. Vi. Let's see. You know, the whole. It should be a D instead. That kind of thing, sure. But All About Eve. Yeah, I haven't heard that. Now let's go back to here. Satriani and videos. And where's that from? No, I've got a lot of old movies with looks like Katharine Hepburn. Interesting. Well, I'll have to continue looking it up. unless it's Apple Tree Man and Martha's Harbor. Oh, Vi, All About Eve. Oh, okay, gotcha. So is that off of like Fire Garden or Ultrazone or something like that? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's off of Fire Garden. Okay. I had that back in 2002, 2003, and I listened to it. Oh, no, 2001, 2002. And I listened to that like 3 times. And the one thing that I kept listening to over and over again was the Fire Garden Suite and the very first track. So let's see here. But with volume. All right, on with that. Damn it. 1 second. I only allow for Vi to do instrumental albums. That's all. So you start with the, you know. You're good. Stop there. You know, Call It Sleep, the whole. There. You know, do stuff like that. You're good. Again, like. Play "O Come O Ye Faithful." You know? It is 8:10 p.m. I was going to say, given that I know where you are, it's not AM there. International Dateline is that way, not that way. Although it is if you go around far enough. I wouldn't recommend that. That would be a long trip. Well, look, I got to go to bed myself, so why don't I play all you fine, wonderful people out. So. What, in your night or mine? Well, I've enjoyed it too, by the way, and you know, like I said, y'all come back anytime. Oh God. Nope. All I want to do with this pick is not hit the right strings. So that's fun. Fulfill the prophecy of becoming a blues man. Joel Beck. Hello, good sir. You're too kind, man. You're really too kind. And thanks for stopping in. So let's see. This whole thing with the... By the way, there's a thing about this that's really, really cool. This whole thing with... There's kind of a baleful whale. And I don't mean whale as in like the kind that swim in the ocean, but a whale as in like I'm wailing and gnashing of teeth type of thing. That happens in a lot of blues music that you should pay attention to. Tony Iommi has this one down, so blues metal type of stuff is very, very cool. So this, kind of shake it when you get up to the top, and then bring it back down while you're still shaking it. Bars back there. Anyway, so good night to everyone out there, and I'm really thrilled. This was a great episode. I don't know what we want to call these, but I appreciate everybody is showing up, and I appreciate the time that you want to take to actually listen to me. Kind of babble for hours, and kind of noodle around for hours too. But I appreciate all the challenges, and I appreciate all the kind words. And I appreciate all the questions and the interactivity. It's been a good stream. Everybody out there, play faster, bluesman or not. But in the meantime, take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys on Monday.